Here's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Espresso on SABC3. An exciting Monday morning as we also shed lights and make sure that we all get involved, especially when it comes to our men who are ready for change. Men Care is an inspiring project, call it that, and here to find out more, we also have our representatives, but all the men around the world are getting involved, and this is to become more involved fathers and also partners, and I guess to embrace the empowerment of women and children around our country and also around the world. Joining us this morning on our Feel Good Breakfast Show, Dean Peacock, co-founder and executive director of Sonke Gender Justice Network, and then Patrick Godona, gender and social justice activist. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Now, I want to get to, Patrick, maybe you want to start answering this. The Sonke Gender Justice, the organization itself that's dedicated to working with men and the issues around gender equality. Tell us about the programs first and the types of work that you do.
Well, we've got various programs at Sonke, but we're here this morning to talk about men care specifically. Sonke was established in 2006 here in Cape Town, and our flagship campaign then was One Man Can, on this T-shirt.
Okay, that he's wearing. All right. The main activities and also how widespread your reach has been. I mean, we're talking about men, and they're everywhere. Tell me about what you do.
So Sonke was established in 2006, as Patrick says, precisely because in South Africa we've got two huge public health and human rights problems.
Right.
We've got an enormous problem of gender-based violence in South Africa. So we've got endemic domestic and sexual violence. And I think it's important to acknowledge that that violence is perpetrated in the vast majority by men against women. And then we've also got a huge public health problem of HIV and AIDS. It's something that gets less and less attention these days, but in South Africa, we've got by far the largest number of people living with HIV in the world. And the same gender roles that contribute to men's violence against women often encourage men to take a whole range of risks when it comes to sex and when it comes to HIV infection.
Being an activist, why did you want to get involved? How can other men get involved?
Well, for me, there's a personal reason. Well, as a young man who grew up in South Africa, I was exposed to a large amount of violence at the home front, but also in the community where I'm coming from. And it became a norm.
Sure.
And I wanted actually to unwind and change that kind of scenario. You know, I'm from a home situation where violence was the order of the day, you know. And I normally say to people, you know, I've got 8 siblings, and sad to know that, you know, I've seen my father bashing my mom from time to time, but I've never seen him kissing her in front of us.
Wow.
So we've got a narrow understanding of what it is to be a loving father, you know. And that's why this Men Care program is very close to my heart, to ensure that men out there of my own age, they begin to see our role differently.
I'm totally moved as you're saying this and as you're speaking this, and it's great to see that our men are talking openly about this. I want to get to this, the actual program, call it Sonke.
Sure.
Tell us more about it. How can we get involved?
So Sonke as an organization works across the country, and we work across the continent. We do a lot of work globally as well. And we take as our starting point the fact that there are many men who have similar lives to Patrick's, men whose lives, like my own, have been affected by violence, and who are now saying that violence has to stop. Men who are connected to women, women who are in their lives as sisters, colleagues, partners, mothers, and men who care about the well-being of women.
When you speak about the caring of well-being, I mean, I want to get to how do we make sure that we support it? I mean, does it impact women and child abuse? What are you doing?
So I think there's often this notion that there's a battle over the sexes and that somehow or another women's rights and gender equality are not in men's interests. We know there are millions of men across South Africa who want to see greater gender equality, who want their daughters to live in a world where they can realize their full potential. And so our work is to mobilize those men, to give them a sense of permission to speak out and to say the violence has to stop.
Wow, okay. Violence has to stop. As 2 men sitting here representing us on our Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning, I mean, it's great to have you here and know that you're taking part of this. The impact of your work, you being an activist,
Absolutely.
Do you see change? Do you feel that people are getting involved and that there's change happening?
Well, men are changing. And, you know, we've just set up father schools across the Western Cape and also across the region, Southern Africa. But we've got partners in Namibia, Lifeline Childline, we've got partners in Botswana, Stepping Stone International, where we've set up father schools, and we've seen large number of fathers coming up to participate in the program. And this is the kind of a healing moment. This is the kind of an eye-opener session for men to begin to engage and get involved with their own children.
Okay.
It actually strengthens their own relationship. It actually benefits the child out there, but also it benefits the society, because if a child learns a different way of doing things, the better is our society as well.
Okay. Sonke and Men Care, just to give us clarity, it's the same thing.
So Men Care is a project of Sonke. So in the same way we have the One Man Can campaign, we also have the Brothers for Life campaign, and then we have the Men Care campaign. The Men Care campaign is directed especially at fathers or expectant fathers. And so it's one of a number of campaigns that we have. And it's a global campaign, active in 25 countries across the world, that we are the co-coordinators of, together with a Brazilian organization.
Now, I see how this is represented throughout the world, and it makes me so excited to know that it's across Africa and Asia, and, you know, it's everywhere. And in South Africa, you're representing as two men and fathers and brothers and uncles, you know. What's your message as an activist? What's your message to men out there?
Well, get involved and make a change.
Wow, okay. Well, that's a clear message, huh? Get involved and make a change. Thank you for joining us. You are so inspiring, I have to tell you.
Thanks to you.
It's fantastic to do this work. We're lucky.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, from our inspiring men who's definitely teaching us something to our guys on the other side, I think we're going to Grant. He is our tech guru and he's standing by.
The Vital Foundation takes action against women and child abuse. R1 from every Vital pack will be donated to organizations fighting abuse. Make a difference.